Welcome to the Helen Bader Foundation CBRF Caregiver Training Program. It's my honor to introduce you to the first unit, the Introduction to the CBRF. As a caregiver, it's important for you to have some basic understanding of this. My name is Marge Gustowiak. I have been a nurse for 21 years. I got my license as an RN in 1975. I was certified in gerontological nursing, which is care of the elderly, in 1983, and got my nursing home administrator's license in 1984. I have been directly involved with CBRFs in the last 6 years. I believe my best qualification, however, is believing in making a difference. And that's what I hope you're taking this program for, is because you too believe you can make a difference and come to the healthcare profession. This unit is the Introduction to the CBRF. This unit is like all the others. There will be a pre-test and a post-test. They are one and the same. The good news is that they will not be graded. Feel free to take notes in your workbook during the program. Now you may turn your video off to take your pre-test. Welcome back. I will now be going over what is a CBRF, what are the classifications of a CBRF, what services are provided in a CBRF, and we'll also be touching on fire drills. First of all, what does CBRF stand for? The letters CBRF stand for Community-Based Residential Facility. I'll break this into two parts. First, community-based. That means that it is situated in a neighborhood. It could be the house right next door to you, or it could be, like many, are associated with healthcare facilities. Some common terms you may have heard this referred to is a halfway house, a boarding house, or a group home. The last part, residential facility, describes what it is. It is a place where people live, where people reside. Again, it can look like the house right next door to you, or it could look a little bit more institutionalized if it's connected to a healthcare facility. CBRF is a term that's specific to Wisconsin and therefore is regulated by the state of Wisconsin with the Department of Health and Family Services. In order to run a facility like this, you must obtain a license. And in order to maintain the license, you must follow the requirements of the Wisconsin Administrative Code, Chapter HFS 83. The definition of the CBRF also involves that there be 5 or more unrelated adults. This is what makes it different than our homes, that the people that are living there are not related. And that's the way it's differentiated from a family home. But in many ways, it is just like a family home. Now that you know what CBRF stands for, we'll go into the classifications. They are classified by 2 means. One is size and the other is class. The size is very self-explanatory. A small CBRF is from 5 to 8 residents. The medium CBRF is between 9 and 20, and the large is 21 or more. The second way they're classified is by class, and this involves an ambulatory status and their ability to ambulate. Someone that is ambulatory is like most of us who can get about without the help of any devices. The second area that is broken down is semi-ambulatory, and that means that you may have some difficulty. You may need a crutch, you may need a cane, you may be using a walker. And the third area that the ambulation is broken into is non-ambulatory, and these people are not able to get around at all using their legs. They would be using a wheelchair. The Class A are those residents that do not require any physical or mental assist in evacuating a building. So there's a Class A ambulatory, and again, it's for those residents who without mental or physical assist can evacuate a building. Then there's a Class A semi-ambulatory. This includes the ambulatory plus the people needing the crutch or the cane. And the last Class A is Class A non-ambulatory. These people can again evacuate without mental or physical assist, but they would be using the wheelchair. And all 3 classifications, ambulatory, semi-ambulatory, or non-ambulatory, may reside in this type of facility. The next class is the Class C. These people may require either some verbal cueing or they may need some standby assist in order to evacuate the building. And as in the A, it's separated into three categories. There's a Class C ambulatory. They can walk, but they might need some verbal clues in which direction to take. Then there's a Class C semi-ambulatory. Again, it includes ambulatory and the ones needing the crutch or the cane, and they may need either physical or verbal assist to get out. And the last one is the Class C non-ambulatory. And again, you can have ambulatory, semi-ambulatory, or non-ambulatory. And they might need some verbal cueing or some physical assist to evacuate the building. Next, we'll be going into what services are offered in a CBRF. Again, I think if you take a look at this as like your home, you'll get a good feel for what's offered. What do you need for a family to live at home? You need to be bathed. You need to be clean every day. You need to be able to eat. You need to be able to get around. You need to decide what you're going to do for the day. You need to get out in the community. So if you think of it like, what do I do and what does my family do, I think you'll have a good feel for the services that need to be provided in a CBRF. The main goal of the CBRF is to be home-like, so it's important that people can get out in the community and do some grocery shopping, and at whatever level they can help prepare the meals to do that. If they can help make their bed, have them do that. It's important that it's home-like. The other thing that's very important is that they are allowed choices. We want people to have the freedom of choice, but what's important is that they remain safe. People that need to live in a CBRF are probably going to be limited either for mental or physical reasons, so we need to have people there that are aware of those safety needs and can help guide them so they can continue to have those freedoms of choices, live a normal life, and still remain safe. Many groups of people are served by a CBRF, and I will now go into those types of people that are served. One example are persons whose abilities are limited due to aging. Best example I can think of is someone with arthritis. They may have trouble reaching up to their cupboards in order to get their food, bending over to get into the oven, and this type of support could be best served in a CBRF. Another group is people with irreversible dementias. Irreversible means that it cannot be reversed, so it is a permanent type of disability. And a dementia is a loss of ability to use your mental abilities. A most common example is forgetting. Now, where did I put my car keys? Or worse yet, getting in your car and now what street am I supposed to turn on? This type of individual can maintain a good level of independence if they have the structure of a CBRF. An example of irreversible dementia is Alzheimer's, and this is a disease that starts out with simple forgetfulness but then progresses. It does not get better and it only gets worse. A third type of person is someone with a developmental disability. That means they were born with it. An example of this is mental retardation. Again, with the support and structure of a CBRF, they may be able to maintain independence well into their older age. A fourth type is persons who are emotionally disturbed or who have a mental illness. With the treatments and the medications available today, many of these people are able to live a normal life. But there is a small population that requires the type of a structure that a CBRF can provide. The fifth type is persons who are alcoholic or drug dependent. And the same as the emotionally disturbed is that with modern treatments and understandings of these disease processes, people can live healthy, normal lives. But there is a small population that requires this structure and our support. A sixth type is someone with a physical disability. This differs from the first type with the abilities limited due to aging is that it can come on to them at a younger age. The most common example I can think of is someone with multiple sclerosis, and that's someone in their 30s or 40s, and their body starts to give up on them. Their mind is fine, they know what they want and when they want it, and have desires in life just like you and I, but their body is not functioning. So they need the physical support that can be provided in the CBRF. A seventh example is pregnant women who need counseling. This is a very specific population, and most pregnancies go along just fine. But there is one facility in Wisconsin that specifically deals with the type of support that pregnant women may need. An eighth example is persons under legal custody of government correctional agencies and or under the direction of criminal court. Again, due to problems in their lifestyle, their family life, their social environment, they are requiring additional structure that their family home may not be able to provide. This also crosses the whole realm of the age spectrum. A ninth example is someone that is dying of an illness or disease. They may not want or require the active treatment that would be available in a hospital or a nursing home. Their family may not be able to provide the support they need in their home. And so the CBRF is licensed and trained to provide care for people in this stage. A 10th example is someone with severe brain injury. Common causes are falls and car accidents. And people can be rehabilitated to a certain level of independence. But again, if they need a regular structure on a 24-hour basis, the CBRF may be the best place for them. And the last example I will cite is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS. Again, this is a disease that can attack the body in many different ways. It can attack the mind, it can attack the physical abilities of the body. It would be someone that does not require the active treatment in a hospital or the nurse requirement in the nursing home, but they just need some physical and emotional support. And those services can be provided for them in a CBRF. The last section we'll be covering is fire drills. The state of Wisconsin requires that regular fire drills are performed. In conjunction with this is the evacuation plan. This needs to be posted, and everybody needs to know what to do with an evacuation. This is particularly important to be practiced because in case of a real fire, you will want to feel confident that you know what to do and that you can give direction to the people that are living there so they know what to do. In a CBRF that's caring for the Alzheimer's or people with dementia, there's an added component to this because it's impossible to predict how they might react to the flashing lights or the loud noise. And so it's good for you to actually experience this, to see how they react, to see how you feel inside with reacting, and still being efficient and effective of getting them out of the building. Knowing your residents' reactions and the response to that will make you an efficient caregiver in the need of an evacuation. Here's a moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the post-test to see how much knowledge you've gained from this unit. You need to turn your video off and complete the post-test, and I'll see you when you're done. Welcome back. Now, as I promised you, we'll be going over the answers to your post-test. First question, what do the letters CBRF stand for? Answer, Community-Based Residential Facility. Second question, who lives in a CBRF? The answer, 5 or more unrelated adults who need supervision, care, and other services. If you answered this by giving examples of people that live in a CBRF, then you get extra credit. So you may have given examples of people with Alzheimer's, people with severe arthritis, someone in a car accident with brain injury. So give yourself credit for those answers. Question 3, what services might be provided by a CBRF? Answer, and I will give you a few answers, and as many as you came up with, you probably have all the right answers. Room and board, meals, laundry service, housekeeping, supervision of medications, help with outings, helping to make the bed, assistance with grooming and hygiene, and I'm sure you came up with many more. Question 4, does a person need to be able to walk or ambulate on his or her own in order to live in a CBRF? Some of you may say, trick question. But the answer is not necessarily. It does depend upon the classification of the CBRF. So if you answered it yes, if it's a Class A ambulatory, then you are brilliant. Otherwise, the answer is not necessarily. It would depend upon the class of the CBRF. Question 5. Does a person need to be able to dress, eat, and bathe by himself or herself in order to live in a CBRF? This answer is similar to the other one, not necessarily. Again, it depends on the classification of the CBRF. Question 6. Why would a person with dementia or Alzheimer's disease choose to live in a CBRF? And the answer, because they've lost mental abilities that enable them to live independently. They need the support and structure of a CBRF to remain safe and healthy. Or perhaps they don't have a caregiver at home that can provide that structure, so the CBRF would be a more ideal situation for them. This concludes the introduction to the CBRF. I hope you enjoyed it and that you learned something from it and are looking forward to the next units.